Hey guys, Saf coming at you with another Raid Shadow Legends video. So we are about 3 days before the end of the TELERIAN Summer Trials. I've been monitoring and tracking this event. It's been a bit of a crap show, for a better word here, in terms of the way this event has been delivered and run. You can see the website now is even more broken because you can't even read text. They've done some weird stuff with numbers here. And of course, we had that incident on the day 18 where all of a sudden TELERIAN realized that their website wasn't working. So read what you will with that. What I want to do in this video here is just kind of give you almost like an event summary of how the points tracked, where we looked in terms of the math. Do I actually think that the technical issue that they provided to us makes sense? And also then to close out the event as if to say, and basically summarize, did I think this was a good event in the end? Did I actually think it delivered, or was it a complete and utter failure like we were suggesting in the middle of the event? So for anyone who hasn't seen my other videos, I'd recommend go checking them out. But the TELERIAN Summer Trials was a month-long community event in which everyone in the community would run certain stages of the game, do Hydra, run the Demon Lord, the clan boss, these sorts of things to basically hit milestone points. It was all tracked to this website. If we hit the milestone, we then get a so-called easy champion training event with the rewards that we've unlocked in here. So obviously we've unlocked 4 of the rewards so far. So for the champion training event, we'll have a rank 5 chicken, 50 XP brews, a rank 4 chicken, and a chaos ore. I've been tracking the points weekly so that we can track where we are against the goal. It became pretty clear really early on that we were way off the goal, especially this tag team arena setting at 250 million. I'm not too sure what happened. Day 18, they came out and said, hey guys, the website is broken. It wasn't calculating the points correctly. It was buffering. So we've made a fix. We froze the website for 3 days, and then all of a sudden points started adding in at an accelerated rate. So let's just take a look at the math that I've been tracking. I've been tracking it sort of daily a little bit since day 18. So we can see the sort of points growth. So the first points I took was day 7, around the 25th of July. I recorded the points off the website, and then what I wanted to do is basically forecast the amount of points we would be at if the current rate of point completion continued for the full 30 days. So we took that number, we divided it by 7, and that gave us kind of a multiplication of that then resultant number by 30 to give us the kind of points we would be at on day 30, which is the final day of the event. And you could see pretty early on, we were way off most of the objectives. Spiders here was an anomaly because we had just come through a clan versus clan personal rewards. So that would have required, or would have resulted in a lot more spiders then being run due to the way that being the best points to get clan versus clan. So that was the only thing we were up on that kind of forecast. We were way off. So the warning signs here were already red flags. I did a video around then. I had already pinged Hell Hades. He'd done a video as well. So there was a lot of awareness in the community going out there kind of saying, look guys, some of these things such as Hydra keys and Demon Lord keys, they're not exactly suitable for catch up. If you didn't do your Hydra key, you only get 12 per player for this event. It's 3 per week, 4 weeks, 12 keys. So if you miss a week, you decide not to do it, you can't get those keys back. There's no way in the game to acquire them. So if we were already behind, this was already going to be a major problem. So we put the word out there and everything, and then we looked at day 14, and it didn't really improve. You could see everyone stopped running Spider because clan versus clan wasn't on for that 7-day window. There was a Dragons ×2, so we can see that improved quite significantly by about 40%, but there's a ×2 speed event, so there was a reason to run Dragon. Arena was still trending similarly, around 40% off, same as Tag Team Arena. Clan Boss was the real big concern for us because we were basically thinking that would be the easy lock. That would be the one that would have made most sense. That was about half of the current total. So we're still looking pretty bleak. Did a collaboration with Scratch, and we were pretty much saying, look, is this the worst thing that they've ever done? Are we way off the points? What the hell happened? Surely they must have the analytics. What has gone wrong? Then we get to the day 18 technical alert issue from TELERIAN. They basically came out and said, hey guys, the points recording on the website was being calculated incorrectly. We had a bunch of points that were buffered and they weren't being sent to the website. And they fixed the website by basically freezing everything. And then about 4 days later, I think the points started coming in. So you can see I took a points total at this point just so that we knew exactly what we were starting on. And we were still trending similarly on the same pace. Fire Knight had improved. There was a ×2 Savage event during clan versus clan, same as Spider. That's why that's picked up, so that would make sense. So far, all the usages and the points and the kind of the events that were going on in game and everything else, it all kind of made sense. Nobody really likes Tag Team Arena. They do 5 of their battles, and then they forget about it. The 5, obviously, for the advanced quest. So the fact that we've got, you know, almost 2.5 times as many classic arenas to Tag Team Arenas kind of makes sense. You get about 20, somewhere in 15 to 20 daily battles probably people will do in Classic Arena. You're doing it for your great horse, so there's more incentive. Whereas most players will just do their 5 in tag. So that kind of makes sense. Dragon's Lair, when it got the boost, made sense. It was ×2 speed. It's the best time to do Dragon. Ice Golem, there wasn't really any incentives over the last few times to run it. It's the least favorite dungeon. So again, those points make sense. Fire Knight doubling. If we look at day 14 to day 18, we went from 700,000 to 3.1 million. I know a lot of players would have held all of their energy and bursted Fire Knight in that final 24 hours for clan versus clan double dipping. Same with Spider. The Hydra key usage didn't surprise me. A lot of players are still trying to get over the hump of how bad Hydra is. And then we have the Demon Lord key usage here at 12 million. That was the biggest shock for me. At this point, I'm sitting here going, this is actually questionable as to whether there's a technical problem here, because the data, the logic, and everything that I'm tracking makes sense. They are linearly consistent, logically consistent. If I was expecting there to be a technical issue, buffering, points being held back, delayed, the servers being overloaded, I would have expected more inconsistencies. I would have expected one number maybe to be a lot higher and then all of a sudden not a lot lower. Now, perhaps I would needed to have tracked this on a day-to-day basis, but to be honest, I've tracked it quite consistently, and I didn't see any inconsistencies that would alert me to require to do that. Technical things aside, that's what they said. It's buffering. We fixed it. They froze the website. And then I think about 4 days later or 3 days later, the points started moving again. We recorded on day 21. And we looked there, and this is when the points started moving. We didn't get any movement on Fire Knight or Spider's Den. This was still frozen when I took this on day 21. But the rest of the events were moving. And we can see the points gap wasn't that much different. So I was sitting there instantly going, and I think I said this in the video that I released on day 21, I think a few days after it. The points that they said they were going to add or find, or they hadn't really appeared, but the website started moving again. So I wasn't really sure why the points froze. What was the purpose of that? That seemed a bit strange to me. It's almost like you turned the servers off, waited 3 days, then turned it back on, and it just carried on. But after that, the points did jump significantly. So on day 25 now, so this is 4 days after the website started loading again, and the points have increased dramatically, a lot quicker. So we're now on target for Classic Arena. We're now on target for Fire Knight. We have completed Spiders. We're now on target for Faction Wars, stage 21. Dragon's Lair isn't far off. Ice Golem. So if you look at these numbers, we went from all red to pretty much all green, or yellow, or close to. Obviously, Tag Team Arena is still way off. Hydra is still way off. But this is like suspicious to me, because I'm sitting and thinking, that's a lot of points to dump in 4 days when you didn't dump them in when the website was off. Now we get to today, day 28, and we can see we have completed Faction Crypts. We have completed Spiders, Fire Knight, and Ice Golem. Obviously, it was an Ice Golem tournament, so that would have probably impacted it. There's a fusion going on if you are doing it. And it was Super Raid, so people might have decided just to get some Ice Golem points in. That makes sense. Classic Arena, we're on target. We're still way off target for Tag Team Arena, and Dragon's Lair is still under. Hydra isn't going to happen, and Demon Lord were a bit tight. So what I want to point out here is they pretty much said in their message, we based the points off a statistical analysis of their data so that they were achievable. So if we look at these points here, if this was based off statistical data analysis, why are we 63% off Tag Team Arena? In what model or context did we assess that 250 million Tag Team Arena points was logical? That makes me question whether we did use statistical data and whether that's just a reasoning to justify the technical solution to make this look like a better event than it was. Because if we look back at day 14, it was looking like the worst event. It made the game look dead. Now, it's not because the game was dead. It's because you basically picked all of the difficult stages. You made it so that only end game could compete in this. 25, faction stage 21, the boss stages, Hydra keys, tag team. This is all very much end game players. So if you wanted people who had just started the game, mid-game players to participate, they're probably not running stage 25. So they're not contributing here. So on day 14, it really made the game look dead. And then when you go to day 28, now it looks like, oh, it's not so bad. But then you look at the weird points here. It's like, well, if we based Tag Team Arena off being an achievable target, I'd expect this to be 10% range, 10% off. Maybe people just didn't run it as much for whatever reason. Not 63%. We're going to be at 91 out of 250 million points. That's not an achievable goal. So was it a case that we just looked at Classic Arena and then copy pasted? Did we look at like 1 day of Tag Team Arena and multiply it by 30? I can't see where the contextual analysis. Either they did a really bad job of contextually analyzing and looking at the data, or they just didn't do enough, or they just didn't base it off statistical data. That's my takeaway here. Same with the Hydra key. We're going to be at 40% off Hydra keys. Now, surely they should have had good analysis considering they have a separate dev team on Hydra keys to know how many keys are being used in a month. I would expect this number to be at 10%. They said this was based on their statistics and their data analysis to make it achievable, yet we've got really big outliers in Hydra Key and Tag Team Arena, which suggests to me either they messed up big time, or they just copy and pasted, or they didn't do it. Those are the three things. Otherwise, we wouldn't see these massive deviations. Let's now look at the gains. So what I'm talking about gains is, what's the difference between my milestones in terms of how many points we are added in a percentage? So here's kind of a good way to view the data that I was just talking about. You can see like the day 7, we were consistently red, and all of a sudden day 25, we've gone very green. And now on day sort of 28, we've gone super green. It's almost like numbers magically started to appear. But the Tag Team Arena and the Hydra Key has not changed. Yes, we've had more. We've gone down about 10%, 20%, but they're still in the red. There's a big question mark here for me about this analysis on these numbers. So the thing I want to look at here is this analysis here. So what I've done is I've basically taken the total points for the milestones that I've got: day 7, day 14, day 18, day 21, day 25, and day 28. And I've basically taken the difference between the milestones and divided it by the previous milestone, so we can see how many points we've gained between the milestones. So for example, day 7, we're at 34 million for Classic Arena. Day 14, we're at 71. So 71 minus 34 gives us about 108% growth on that 34. So that basically tells me we were consistent, but we did a little bit more. And when we look at Tag Team Arena, that shows me we were consistent, but did a little bit less because we were 10% down. Dragon, which doesn't shock me here, shows that we did a lot more because there's a ×2 speed. There's a reason why that would have been a lot higher. Ice Golem, a little bit less. People were probably spending more time in Dragon's Lair or Fire Knight. And then when we look at Fire Knight here, we only grew, again, we grew kind of similarly. There was a there was a Fire Knight tournament that had started before day 14 that would have attracted more attention. But I would imagine a lot of people waited for the clan versus clan window. And then you can see Spider's Den wasn't run at all because there was no need, because there was no clan versus clan. Demon Lord Key was up a little bit. Hydra Key was also up a little bit. And Faction Wars Creeps was basically even. So what does that tell me? This tells me that the point gains are linear. They are logical. They are going up consistently. This 376% would give you a warning unless you knew the context that, well, there was a ×2 for speed in Dragon's Lair. So that would make sense that it got a lot more attention. Let's look at day 18. This 340%, that's the result of a ×2 Savage event. And look how close and similar it is to the Dragon's Lair. It's very similar. Same with Ice Golem. We've got 127%. I think Ice Golem was a ×2 in clan versus clan. So there was more incentive to run Ice Golem until you hit your ×2 limit, the points in clan versus clan. Then they went and spent it on Spider. Spider went up by 51%, not as much, but that was because I probably picked this up in between the clan versus clan, and maybe people didn't run as much Spider this time because they put more of their effort into the ×2 Savage. But again, the point I wanted to make here is, firstly, this is only a 4-day gain, so we wouldn't expect it necessarily to be as 100% as the previous one. Secondly, we've got a correlation here with ×2 Savage, Ice Golem being ×2 in clan versus clan, and these are consistent again. Now let's take a look at day 21. Obviously this one's a bit awkward because some things are frozen, but again, we're looking at a 4 to 3 day window. The percentages are kind of the same as day 18. We've got a little bit more Dragon's Lair, a lot less Ice Golem. These points are frozen, so we can't tell, and these points were here. Now let's look at day 25. We've got a 4-day gap, and all of the points are almost double the 7-day gap, and they're all consistently double. So this tells me points were injected at an accelerated rate. Now, either that's a technical fix, but they weren't added after the technical fix started working. So they weren't added in this 3-day window when the point's frozen. This has added since. So we had a massive point injection, because when you look at now the next 3-day window, we're back down to the 16%. So here, the points acceleration was massively bigger. We're talking huge. We're talking 90% over 4 days here. It was 108% over 7 days. So in the kind of current same path, we could probably work out that would be about 150%. So just going through the edit of my video, and I noticed I missed quite an important point. On day 25, we can see this massive growth of points. But then when we look at the next 4-day window, the day 28 to day 25, it's about the same duration. I took this yesterday, so you probably saw me referencing in this video today. I've recorded this yesterday, so it's a day late than I had planned. We can see the points have gone way back down to normal. We're on 16%, 14%, 10%, 24%. So it's even less than our day 18 metric, which is of a 4-day. Obviously, it's 3 days instead of 4 days, so we would expect it to be lower. But this kind of goes and shows that this wasn't a case of it wasn't counting the points correctly. Points were injected on day 25 here. So I'm not entirely sure whether that's a case of it caught up on the buffer that they had supposedly suggested, or if they simply just added points and just made it look like it was naturally growing to sort of show that. But, you know, you can be your own conspiracy theories. Let me know in the comments below if you have your own conspiracy theory here. But clearly on day 25, the point gains were significantly higher than day 28. Which has led to us miraculously finishing the milestones. But there you go, guys. That is the last Delirium Trials video I'm probably going to do. I'm not too interested in this free champion training tournament we're going to get, because, you know, we'll probably get the epic skill tome. That's cool. Maybe we'll get this energy, and maybe we won't get the XP barrel. Maybe we'll get the void shard. But right now, does anyone really care about 50 bros? Is a rank 4 chicken really worth anything? You know, yes, Chaos Ore is nice, don't get me wrong, but for a lot of players, they don't like Chaos Ore. And I actually have quite a lot of the Chaos Ore now, because you can get them from multiple places. Clang Shop, they're always available in some tournaments and some events. So it's not really important. The thing that I think most people wanted was a legendary skill tome. When you put into context that a champion training event always has legendary skill tomes nearly. In fact, if I look at the current champion training event that we've got on for the Fusion, and we go down to the bottom of this event, we have an epic book. In fact, we actually have pretty much what they're offering in the current one. We've got 100 energy, so they're probably going to give us 300 energy. We've got the legendary skill tome. That's what they were offering. It's got the epic skill tome. That was there. Okay, there's no void shard here, but there's an ancient shard. We've got, what other things they're offering? A rank 5 chicken. Okay, that would be an addition. And then we've got a rank 4 chicken. Does that exist in here? Let's have a look. So we don't have any chickens, but that's fine. But there's other stuff. And then we've got the Chaos Ore right at the end there. So this champion training event didn't require us to spend a month building it. It was there automatically. We also lost 3 reward slots for the fusion fragments. I'm not sure if that champion training event is going to contain any of these other additional rewards. It almost feels like it's going to be a fusion warm-up style champion training. So I think that's the disappointment here for me. If you had put the legendary book behind Clan Boss, or put it behind one of the dungeons, I think it would have been not as bad. But the fact we're going to miss out on probably the most valuable reward for most players is a fail event for me. I love the concept. I think we need to do more of these concepts, but we need to be more upfront and honest about making sure that they work. If it is just a simple technical solution, I've got this completely wrong, then it needs to be picked up on day 2 or day 3 or day 4. The content creators were basically saying we were going to hit the mark. There was Reddit posts on day 5, on day 6. Even before the event started, everyone was pretty much, what, 250 million tag team? We're never going to hit that. That was the response that I saw in the community. So the fact that it took them to day 18 to actually fix this problem, that's a bit of a concern. When it's a new system, a new website, a new concept, I would have been putting someone on that on day 2 to make sure, hey, do you want to just check that the server's sending the points to that new website we built? That to me is a better solution. That's more appropriate. But there you go. I mean, it is what it is. I could rant about this for hours. I personally think this was a great concept. I think it was delivered awful. I would have made all these stages just all stages. Beat the Ice Golem Peak, beat the Dragon's Lair. If you then need to increase the points total because you would have had a lot of dungeon completions, that's fine. Use your data. You have a data on all the dungeon runs. Take the total dungeon runs in a month, plus 10% if you want to make them work harder. That's fine. But you cannot tell me you use statistical data to determine that you would be able to do 250 million tag team battles in a 30-day window, and then our goal is 100 million. That tells me you didn't use data. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I try not to be too negative on some things that TELERIAN do, but at times it's quite difficult. We are approaching 10,000 subscribers on our channel. We really appreciate everyone's support so far and everyone who follows our channel and likes our content. It kind of gives us a reason to keep going and keep us motivated, finding different ways to play this game, all the different data mining, and keep you up to date with any news. And I will catch you in the next video.